All right, today's gonna be a great day because we're flying some FPV drones. Huge thanks to DJI for sponsoring this episode. Not only do we have the new DJI O4 Air unit, but also the O4 Pro. Two's better than one, right? Not only do we have one potato jet, we have
me, Ken Nagata, his little brother.
Potato Jet Mini. Welcome to a video.
Awesome.
Senior in high school right here, and 9 months ago I showed him how to fly FPV and officially got hooked.
Oh yes, I sure did.
We are definitely related.
Yep, that's right. Runs in the family.
So what's the difference between the two versions of the Air unit? Well, the O4 is really designed for tiny drones. It has a half-inch sensor similar to the one found in the Neo. The weight of the O4 is only 8.2 grams, so it sounds like it'll be fun to throw in a 2S cinewhoop and zip around the house. But personally, what I've really been waiting for is the O4 Pro, so we'll be focusing on that in this video. 1/1.3-inch sensor, 10-bit D-Log M, so that should give us better low-light performance and dynamic range compared to the O3, and we'll definitely have to test that out. But the first thing I asked DJI is, do we finally get 24 frames per second in a DJI FPV drone? And they said no, but we do have 48 frames per second, which is perfect because I could just take that and throw it straight into a 24 frame per second project, and it'll just use every other frame, and it should be seamless. It's not going to be skipping frames once in a while, giving us that jittery motion like we would in 30 frames per second or 60. So thank you. I have been waiting honestly too long for this day.
All right, everybody, it's Potato Jet Mini. Yeah, I got this thing here. Hopefully I won't break it trying to dive this big mountain.
Not bad, not bad. Yeah, you're pretty comfortable in front of the camera, so that's good.
Yeah, I'm okay.
The goal here today is to get you some experience on cinematic FPV flying.
That's right.
Which is a bit different from freestyle FPV drone, which you've got that pretty dialed.
Yeah, I'm used to just freestyling around the park because there's never anyone there. I'm in a small town.
Freestyle is honestly maybe the most fun. You've been crashing a lot of drones for that?
Oh, I think crashing a lot is an understatement, but yeah, yeah.
A lot of spare parts. I think one of the biggest questions everyone has is, do we still need to mount an action camera up top? We'll do some flying, we'll split screen it and see if it actually looks a lot better or is it on par? Blind side-by-side time test. I don't know if I said that right. Come on over here. So one of these is the O4. The other one is the Action 5 Pro.
I see more dynamic range on the left right now, but they both look good.
He's right. The dynamic range is better on the left, but I kind of like the picture quality on the right more.
Maybe the colors?
Yeah, the colors, like right here especially. I actually like the right more. I'm not gonna lie.
I like the right more.
I can't believe
That's
it's this
probably
close.
because of the contrast. Maybe there's more contrast on the one on the right, and that's why you have less of that dynamic range, right? Where it looks like you have more detail. I mean, they both look good, but if I had to choose one, I would choose the one on the left. When it comes to contrast and color, you can always tweak on it, but when it comes to dynamic range, you can't bring back the dynamic range that you lose over here.
Yeah.
So the real big question is, if you have an FPV drone that's worth, say, like 500 bucks, right? All in. Is it worth making that $500 thing now like a $900 thing by mounting an extra camera on it and adding more weight and reducing battery life?
No, you don't have to. No.
I wouldn't.
It's similar enough.
Yeah, that's the thing. The fact that it's even close is kind of unbelievable.
Well, now that it's landed,
I know which one's
one it is.
Take it. Oh yeah, which one's on the ground? The one on the right is the O4 Pro. Both of you actually prefer the O4 Pro for a bit of it. I think that's the color, honestly, because there is more information out of the Action 5 Pro, but it's pretty dang similar.
It's good.
It's unbelievable.
Now let's get into some darker stuff where things might be a little bit more obvious.
Like right here, the exposure's almost the same, but the one on the left is cleaner than the one on the right.
No, you are right.
Yeah, and there's definitely like some white balance thing going on here because everything's on auto.
Yeah, like you were saying, you know, if you can color grade and do it all yourself, then maybe the Action 5 Pro is still the way.
When you were flying this is exactly what you were seeing, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is.
But at the very tail end,
Okay.
now the Action 5 Pro actually has much better low light.
It blows it out of the water.
Now it's no question.
Action 5 looks really nice.
You know what's interesting though? It's like when we were flying though,
We could see it.
You could see.
We could see more.
it looked better, right?
Gene agreed with me. I remember that.
The footage is super grainy and not necessarily like cinematic, but I can pilot. This is D-Log M with a default LUT on it. I don't know what it is, but I think in our goggles, maybe the LUT is different to where things appear brighter to us, which makes it a lot easier to fly.
More flat.
So what I'll try to do is take the O4 footage and boost it up to match. Then we can really get an idea of how much information is in there. But I feel like this is along the lines of what we were seeing in our goggles, right?
That is what everything looked like when I flew.
At this point, the Action 5 definitely outperforms.
No doubt.
In low light, Action 5 Pro still makes sense. Pretty sure the O4 Pro is the same camera as the Avata 2. And I feel like the Avata 2 is maybe the same camera as the Action 4, or at least similar.
Wow, I can't believe it was that close.
The image quality though on the Action on these looks amazing. It looks really clean.
I think the verdict is Action 5 Pro is better.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you had, say, like the Action 4 even, or really any action camera that's even like one generation behind, you're probably going to outperform it with the 04 Pro.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Look at this sky right here. So when it comes to lighting, it's hard to beat this right after sunset. I think with this 1/1.3 inch sensor on this 04 Pro, I think we're gonna be in much better shape. All right, you know the rules, right? Get as close as you can without cutting my head off.
Yeah, I think maybe I can do that.
But this is why you're practicing with your brother, because
right.
you're allowed to hit me.
Okay.
If it's anybody else, you are not allowed to hit them.
All right. So try not to hit him.
When it comes to FPV, crashing is a big part of it because you really have to test your limits so that you start to understand where your limitations are, right? But there's a time and a place for crashing. You do not want to ever crash when you're filming around clients because they're gonna be like, this guy's sketchy. He's crashing into everything. I don't trust him flying around me. This is fun. We were riding and just randomly ran into other kids riding this trail and we're like, do you want some FPV footage? And they're like, hell yeah. That's what's cool about being like a drone pilot or a filmer or whatever is people that are doing cool things want footage of themselves. So they're always down to get footage, right? And it's perfect practice for you.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Not what I was expecting, but you know what? It was definitely a little easier knowing they're like kind of just like kids my age. They're kind of like the careless type, so I'm pretty sure if I did bump into them with the drone, they would have been like, oh,
No, you do not want to hit kids with drones.
I've heard briefly that we would have to lock the ISO.
Yeah, you want to lock your exposure. Okay. If you're flying freestyle, you usually don't want to lock your exposure, right? Because if you go into like a dark tunnel, you want it to like auto expose. But a lot of times in video, you don't want that auto exposure shifting around mid take, right? So you want to just kind of lock it off. So let's go ahead and plug in and just check out some of these settings here. 4:3 aspect ratio, 4K 48 frames per second. So EIS, that's your image stabilization. That's turned off right now so that we could run it through gyroflow and stabilize it in post. Rock City is going to give you pretty good smooth footage right out of the camera, but I like to turn it off so that you have more manual control and gyroflow. Because if you're freestyling, you don't want too much stabilization, or if you're trying to get like a cinewhoop shot, you want it to be like super flowy, right? So it's good to film with it off so that you can go ahead and adjust all those things afterwards. Color space, we're in D-Log M, so we're gonna have a nice flat image. D-Log M is great because it's already kind of standardized. So basically, you could shoot flat, and you were saying earlier, you don't know how to color grade, right?
Yeah.
But you still want that control and flexibility with the footage. So D-Log M is nice because all you have to do is just attach a LUT onto it, and then boom, it looks pretty good already. Nice. And then you can tweak it if you need to. Right now, I'm trying sharpness down at -1 just to see how I like it. I may add a little bit more sharpness or reduce it from here, but right now I'm trying -1. Now we gotta set our exposure. So go ahead and switch that over to manual right there. We're gonna also wanna lock off our shutter speed. 150, that's gonna give you the most amount of motion blur. So if you're flying fast, you're gonna just see everything just past you, but also sometimes there could be a little bit too much motion blur. So if you're gonna do a little bit of acrobatics in this, then maybe we could go up to like 180. Okay, so now we're too bright, right? That is where our beautiful ND filters come into play.
Got it.
I think we could probably go ND64 because it is bright right now. So let's bump your ISO up to try 200 to 400. I think your settings are pretty dialed now.
Okay.
How's it feel out there? How's the wind?
I definitely feel it pushing the quad. One shot I've wanted was coming up here high.
Oh, that's cool. Awesome first shot. Now let's try to get a little bit of slow-mo now. So why don't we go up to 4K 60?
Okay.
So the rule of thumb is you want to kind of like double your frame rate. So if you're shooting 60 frames per second, then you go 120. But if you want to make it a little bit crispier, you could just bump it up to like, let's say 160. Now we're on ND32, and these are actually filters for the Avata 2. So it does fit the same, but on my other frame, my frame kind of sticks out further, so it didn't actually fit perfectly. So it kind of depends on your frame, but in terms of the camera itself, an ND filter from an Avata 2 should fit. What's nice about this 04 Pro's camera quality being so good is that you can remove the camera up top, which means if you crash and destroy it, you're not down a drone and an action camera.
That's right.
With freestyle, you're constantly moving, right? You're constantly flipping and rolling, but in cinema, people would say like, oh, it makes them dizzy. So you want to just be like as locked and stable as possible. Really kind of find nice smooth lines opposed to freestyle where you're like, gap, gap, flip, trick, crash, bend your props back, fly again.
Smoke a motor, solder it back on the spot.
Yeah.
Smoke the other motor, come home, and my mom complains. You broke another what?
All right, it's my turn to lose the quad.
Uh-oh. That is sick.
Being up there, it's like that thing is way bigger than you would expect, isn't it? Oh, I was just on full throttle right there.
Wow, that was full throttle and it looked that slow.
It looks slow, didn't it? That's crazy.
That's a crazy sport. I know it's going 100.
Honestly, with this camera quality being this good, I would rather run it without a camera up top and just run a bigger battery.
Yeah, for the flight time.
At least at 1700, right? We're shooting D-Log M, we're shooting 10-bit. We're shooting 48 frames per second. Maybe this camera quality is good enough to where it's just like my A camera now. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode.
What's going on? I'm here with the small fry and the big fry over here.
That's right, small fry.
We got the wifey wife over here. What's up, girl? I look like a director from 2050. And action! This is where you put in the let him cook. Let him cook. Right? Power loop. All right, now let's check out the slow motion on this 04 Pro. So we got 4K 120 in the 16:9 mode, not the 4:3. I leave Ken alone for 5 minutes and ask him to get some 120 shots. And then you come back with drifting footage. And then there's cops involved.
Someone called the highway patrol on us.
I love how you FPV chased the cops that
Came for us, yeah. I just asked the officer, hey, can I get a quick chase shot of you? And then they're like, I mean, well, yeah, I guess so.
So one of the things that's new on here that I really like is that you can shoot D-Log-M, which is flat, but you don't have to actually fly looking at a flat image. You can turn on display assist, which will basically put a lot into your goggles.
Yeah, I can tell. It looks really nice, actually.
Going through some specs here, range-wise, the 03 had 10 kilometers of range. The 04, the small guy, also has 10 kilometers of range. 10 kilometers for a tiny whoop, that's gonna be actually kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
The new 04 Pro is better at up to 15 kilometers. And of course, these are all in like perfect conditions. They both have built-in storage. So the little guy has 23 gigs of built-in storage and the big 04 Pro has 4 gigabytes.
Big guy has less?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because there's a slot for a micro SD,
Oh,
so you
okay,
could really
okay,
just
okay,
put
okay,
like a
cool.
crazy amount in there. And if you want to, you can control it with the DJI FPV Controller 2 or FPV Controller 3. Honestly, I would want DJI to make like a pro controller. This one is nice and compact, but the gimbal sizes are kind of small, opposed to like the one you have, the original DJI FPV controller. You have a
Yeah.
lot more movement, right?
Yeah, with more range than this right here.
Compatible with the Goggles N3, the Goggles 3, DJI Goggles Integra, and DJI Goggles 2. Unfortunately, no V2, the bigger, older ones. It's actually still my favorite set of goggles, but I don't see that on the compatibility list, so it might be time to retire that. And also, it looks like there's this racing mode on here, which drops your latency to 15 to 20 milliseconds. I'm sure a lot of people are gonna appreciate that, but I personally am just not good enough to like notice the difference, honestly. And of course, these air units are not the drone itself. You build whatever drone you want and you put the air unit in it. So how hard is it to install these things into an FPV drone? I was able to fit the small 04 into a little tiny whoop and it was pretty straightforward, but the camera mount was new, so it was a custom print. Now, Kelvin did mention that he tried to get it onto a 1-cell tiny whoop, but wasn't able to get it to work because it was like an 8-watt power draw or something like that. So instead, we made it a 2-cell, worked just fine there.
Do you think something like that could be fixed with a software update?
Maybe low power draw mode or something, or maybe I'm not sure. If you know the answer to this, please let us know down there in the comments. But the 04 Pro was pretty straightforward. The VTX is actually a little bit smaller and actually weighs 32 grams, so it is lighter. Actually, let's just do a flashback to when we built these drones. I should give you like a 5-minute chopping spree on my business account.
Okay, yeah. I like a Mr. Beast challenge. Okay.
Yeah, 5 minutes, go.
Okay, okay.
All right.
5 minutes.
Dun dun, intense music.
All right, so Kelvin, I want to build a 5-inch, like freestyle,
Yes.
and I want to be dead cat. What are you thinking right now?
Inertia.
Can you tell me why it's good, or is this just biased thing?
Because it's a newbie drone.
Oh,
Because it's a
okay.
newbie
You know,
drone branded,
that's,
yeah.
Add a car. That's in the
That's
car.
the
That's
point,
in the
that's the
car.
point,
That's.
yeah.
What do you think for motors?
2207 people use for racing.
No, I'm no racer.
Yeah.
So should I just go 2306?
Yeah, if you want to do freestyle, 2306 is better.
Oh, another newbie drone.
That's crazy coincidence, huh? All right, we're adding that one to cart. So what are we thinking about stack?
I would recommend the Infinity All-in-One.
Now, you know that name pretty well. Did you name it or something?
That's good for the inertia frame.
Fat deck, what's that mean?
Oh, so this isn't beta flight.
No, it's not.
Oh my God, you guys are going crazy.
Okay,
all right.
well, brand new thing, I guess. Then we can go to the receiver. I'm thinking ELRS.
You got the receiver, frame, the motors, you got the propeller.
Just grab the first one.
We gotta save all the time. We got 2 because I burned through props.
This is your last call, man.
Last call on
Something
the
like a DJI Enterprise drone or something.
Oh yeah. Can I just take a Mavic while I'm at it? Okay.
Oh, you need battery.
Oh, here we go. My time. What's going on my time? 6S
6S.
1200. That's where it's at, right?
Yep, tattoo. Tattoo is good.
Is that the good size for that?
I run
It's
12.
doing freestyle. Yeah, I mean, it's good. Or you can type in 6S 1700.
1700.
Yep.
What is this? Thank you very much, Gene.
All right, there you go.
Tell Carrie I'm sorry. Thank you very much, Kelvin.
No
I
problem.
appreciate it.
Thank you for your business.
Oh, here we are. Hey, he's not looking, just.
I'm sorry, we don't have enough labor, so I will give you the sheet. You guys have to pick it up by yourself. Okay?
Oh shoot.
Is this your dream?
Yeah, it's like Toys R Us, but I'm older.
So we have to pick every single parts.
So if you buy something from Newbie Drone, you know that Kelvin's back here being like, ah, damn it, where is this thing? Ah, here.
Give him some time. This is harder than
Give
it
me some
looks.
time.
You got Avata 2 up there.
Yep.
I'll just, you see, instead of doing all this, you could just grab that one box and be like, all right, I'll be on my merry way. It's fun. This is like a little Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, I like that color.
Yeah, it makes it fly better with better colors.
So, build time. We won't go into the details of how we're assembling all this. That's what Joshua Bardwell is for. Montage time. Son of a... Camera is upside down. I thought I was done, but...
Do it turtle mode.
All right, day 2. It's looking good. We got everything set up.
Quick design. It's not like the final one. We only have like 2 hours to do that part.
When you have to custom make each of these parts, it takes so much longer to build these drones, huh?
Yeah.
So if you don't want to spend 2 days building drones, then just buy a bind and fly.
Yeah, it's easier.
How hard is the 04 to install?
As long as the frame is designed for the 04,
Yeah.
it's actually pretty simple.
Just like a traditional frame, but custom make a TPU for the front to accept the new spacing for those screws, and then TPU for the back for the dual antennas. Everything else is the same.
Very easy, very simple. Just need that new camera bracket, antenna mount, and you'll be good from any 03 quad. Final step, we're gonna unpeel this. Okay, that's the 04.
Looks shiny.
That doesn't look like a drone.
So got a little foam glider, yeah.
You got a little obstacle course, and if you crash, you get sand in your motors.
Oh.
What are you talking about? Why is the camera pointing at me? What am I doing?
Oh, you're good?
Yeah, to go from the sand.
That's crazy.
I think I like what you're flying the best.
Yeah,
It's quiet, it's graceful, beautiful.
Whoa. Yeah, I didn't realize that you could wirelessly preview the 03 air unit too. So it's a goggles thing. It's a goggles 3 thing. When you don't have to worry about mounting a camera up top, you could really like make these pretty small and still have pretty good picture quality, huh?
Yep.
So he's going 03 and he's going 04 Pro. We're gonna see which camera is better. Will you be able to tell the difference? Will you, Frank?
I don't know. That's why I'm here. I can tell a difference in exposure, but in quality, they both look good. The one on the right just looks brighter. The one on the left just looks darker. I prefer the one on the right. I'm being honest.
Why do you prefer the one on the right, Frank?
The exposure just seems more balanced.
So you're talking about the auto exposure. Mm-hmm. The one on the left is kind of fluctuating from bright to dark, and
yes,
they are both on auto exposure.
Okay. The one on the right, it doesn't fluctuate as fast or as often.
It's holding that exposure.
It's holding the exposure.
Opposed to the one on the left is kind of chasing that exposure.
Yes. The one on the left seems to get a little too dark at times. I prefer the one on the right. There's way more noise on the one on the left than the one on the right on the sky.
Okay, can you guess which one's which?
I'm gonna say the 04 is on the right and 03 is on the left. There's just more noise on the left.
You are correct, sir. Congratulations.
Yes. What do I get, man?
Do you
What
want
do I
like a
get?
gold star or something? This is a good example of dynamic range here, because on the 03, you barely can see what's like
On the ground, nothing.
so you don't really know what's below you, but on the 04, you can still make out that detail of the sidewalk and everything.
And your highlight is like completely blown out.
Yeah, it blows out the highlights, and then the shadows, just everything just becomes black.
You can at least go out and have fun at nighttime with the 04s, where with the 03s, you really have to be careful. Even if you're not gonna use the footage, you can at least fly and have a good time with this.
So low light, way better. On the 03, you could barely see that sidewalk, right?
Yeah, this shot right here totally gives it away.
Yeah.
Does it feel like you're flying 12,800 ISO?
Yeah, no, seriously, like it does feel like 12,800 ISO. I mean, definitely noisy as hell, but like the fact that I can see is all I need sometimes. I actually think this would be really cool for the Cinelifter because I can pilot in low light, and even though if my image is a little bit grainy at a high ISO, I can put like a Sony FX6 up top with that 12,800 base and just capture really clean low light up top, but still pilot with the 04 Pro. So we lost the drone. Carrie, I need your eagle eyes.
Like you guys don't know where it's at all?
No, get on the back.
Oh my God.
We're losing the light and we lost the drone. So let's see if we can find the drone before we lose the light. Mr. Frank, what do you see?
He ate it. He's down there somewhere.
I knew this was gonna happen.
He's not down there, is he?
Yep.
You went down there? Oh my gosh. I'm responsible for your safety. I'm supposed to stop you from going down there.
Wait.
Okay, we're gonna use my 04 to try to find his 04. Dad, I'm really sorry. I let Kenshiro walk down that. But hey, look, he's alive though. See? All is fine. Okay, we're gonna try to recover this drone now. I see something there, but I think that's a can or something.
One more time. I'm gonna find this thing. You found it?
Yeah, I found a free drone down there.
No way. Wait, you found it? Oh my gosh.
If we didn't pick out those blue props, if I went with like gray or something,
You would not have seen it, huh?
yeah, any other color, there was like a 90% chance I wouldn't have it.
Plug it in.
Oh wow, not a problem, guys. All right.
You got feed?
Yeah, I got feed.
All right,
Looks like
she's
everything's
alive.
working.
A funny thing is, the very first time Ken flew FPV, what'd you do?
I got your AOS quad
Uh-huh.
stuck in a very, very high tree.
And that's how you fell in love with FPV.
That's right.
Last time he visits, what did you do?
Got a quad stuck on the side of a cliff next to an ocean.
So then we did some rappelling to go get it. This is all part of FPV, and you got a little branch stuck here on your head. There you go. There you
How
go.
did that get there? I wonder.
Who knows?